Dallas, Washington. Cowboys sit atop the division at 8-4. But Washington's won 4 in a row. Washington, one of the hottest teams coming in. These two teams meet twice in the next 3 weeks. And for Dallas, they enter Sunday's game with both running backs, Zeke and Tony Pollard, a little banged up. It didn't stop Mike McCarthy from making a big-time guarantee. Listen to this.
You know, we're going to win this game. I'm confident in that, and just the prep that's going into it. But more importantly, we're going to, we want to improve too.
His first comments back, Mike McCarthy didn't use the word guaranteeing the win in Washington, but he very matter-of-factly said, "You guys are going to win this game." I don't know.
Yeah.
So you like hearing that from your head coach? It doesn't put the players in a bad spot?
Yeah, I agree. No, it doesn't put us in a bad spot. I mean, obviously, if you're preparing for this game, you're a Dallas Cowboy. If you're a fan, you expect to go in and win each and every game. So I don't think he's said anything different than everyone in this building's thoughts. He just voiced it. So now we've got to make sure that we're accountable of our words.
Quite the different reaction on the other side. Washington coach Ron Rivera responded with this. You do that for a couple of reasons, making that guarantee. One, you want to get in our heads. Secondly, he's trying to convince his team. He's now made it about him. I think it's a big mistake. We got our QB Mike Vick here on a Friday morning. Mike, good morning to you. I'll ask you this. Is Mike McCarthy guaranteeing a win over Washington a good idea or a bad idea?
You know what? I think it's a good idea. And I say that for a couple reasons. One, it puts a lot of confidence in your guys. As a coach, you got to be the one who stands tall and show that leadership. But two, when you call out a certain team, when you guarantee a win, you putting pressure on your team. You guys got to respond to that. And Dak responded in the press conference. I mean, his words, the words that he uttered, showed confidence. And when a coach say that, it breathes confidence and life into a team. And maybe Mike McCarthy being, out of the game for the last 10 days and being able to watch his team, he learned a lot. He learned a lot about him. He missed the game. And he probably had a chance to go back and watch that Raiders game in which they lost, and then watch the Washington football team versus the Raiders and seeing some things that they can exploit. So, being that he talked about preparation, he talked about, coming into this game and knowing exactly what needed to be done and how they was going to do it. And now the team sees that, they see the game plan, and they feel good about it. So, I like it, man. I like it in today's time when, all these social outlets are, extremely important or becoming important. You can say whatever you want to say, man. And the team, they respect it, and I think they appreciate it. So I can't wait to see how this all turn out.
So I want to be clear here. I also think the Cowboys are going to win. They should win. They're the better team. They have the better quarterback. They're more rested because they're coming off the Thursday. For all those reasons, I like Dallas in this spot. I also don't think his comments are going to have any tangible effect on the game. I don't think Washington was going to be like, I'm going to kind of prep for this divisional matchup that could determine whether they make the playoffs or not. And then they see Mike McCarthy's comments, and now they're locked in. So I don't think it's going to have, what he said is going to have a positive or negative effect on the game. But Wilds, I am interested in what it reveals about what Mike McCarthy is thinking, the fact that he said it. Because to me, this feels a little bit like someone who is, is supposed to, meet a kid at the flagpole after school, is a little worried about it, but all day is chirping, "Oh, I'm going to kick your butt. Oh, you don't want to see me there." But he's telling his friends, like, "Oh, boy, I hope he doesn't show up." Like, I'm not feeling great. Because while it might be true, Wilds, right, exactly. A little false bravado. Like, let's speak it into existence, LeVar Ball style. And I find it interesting, because I've never heard Mike McCarthy say this before. Maybe within the team meeting, as Vic's talking about to his team, we're going to go out there, we're going to show them this is our division. That's one thing. But to say it publicly, he's not a dumb guy, his clock management stuff notwithstanding. He knows that by saying that becomes something his players, Ron Rivera, people are going to be asked about. And I find it, to me, this reveals actually a lack of real confidence than the other way around. I think this reveals that there's a little grasping of, no, we're going to win. We're going to go win. When that's not something you typically hear a head coach say, you really ever hear a head coach say. It's why, you know, Jim Fossil's, or was it John Fossil? Jim Fossil, whatever the dad is, his, you know, put my chips in the middle of the table. It's like an iconic moment because 20 years ago, we still remember it, even though I can't remember his first name, because it's rare for coaches to give these types of prognostications before the game. So I actually think it reveals he's a little anxious about this football game, Wilds.
Yeah, probably, but I'm shocked that anyone has a problem with it. Because what's the one knock on Mike McCarthy? Well, what does he actually do? Rashard, what's he actually do? Yeah. If Kellen Moore is the offensive genius and Dan Quinn has turned around the defense, then what's Mike McCarthy's job? Well, it's to motivate. And the fact that Dak's response was blank, yeah, shows you that this is the right move. And I'm shocked. I am shocked that anyone thinks this is anything other than a great move. Like I've heard like, oh, should he be saying that against the 4-win Washington? They've won 4 straight. Oh, they've won 4 straight. Who cares? They've won, what is this, the NBA Finals? I don't care if you've won 4 straight. You need to win this game, Dallas, and Washington does not need to be treated with such respect. I don't think you should say it against Patrick Mahomes. I don't think you should say it against Bill Belichick or Tom Brady. But yes, a team that is 500 with Taylor Heineke. Shout out to Taylor Heineke. He's playing great. But you're not above a little bit of trash talk. You're not above a guarantee. I think it's a smart move by Mike McCarthy. Looks like the Cowboys need a little kick in the pants. Dak liked it. They're going to come into that game fired up. I personally loved it.
Yeah, I have no problem with what Mike McCarthy said. I actually have more of a problem with what Ron Rivera said, which is along the lines of what Nick said, if you can put it on the screen. But I think Rivera and Nick are looking too deeply into this. All right? I think you're psychoanalyzing it too much. He thinks his team's going to win. That shouldn't be a revelation. Oh, shocking. All right? Anything less is ridiculous. And I love that. No, if I'm Dak Prescott or if I'm a player in that locker room, I feel the exact same way. Yeah. I would hope Coach would say that. And that he says it publicly. So what? Yeah, we're going to go win. And that's what they're going to do. And I bet you when the comment was relayed to Rivera, I bet, I'd almost say I guarantee, but I won't go that far. But I bet it was revealed to him like, hey, Mike McCarthy just guaranteed that the Cowboys are going to beat you guys. What do you think about that? I bet it wasn't told in, you know, what actually happens with McCarthy saying, we're going to win this game and we're going to move on. And look, even if they lose, so what? They just move on. You think you're going to win every game. The media will blow it out of proportion. And that's where you could say it's a problem. Because Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and all these guys, they're going to be talking about that before the game. The Cowboys players will be asked about that up to the game. Well, Coach guaranteed it. It can become a distraction, but I got no problem with it whatsoever. And I think, Nick, you and Rivera, you're looking a little too deeply into it.
Well, hang on. Mike,
ahead,
you've been in enough locker rooms and enough post-games and pre-games to know this, because I've been in enough to hear it. It works as much for Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys as it does for Ron Rivera in Washington, because he's going to walk in and say, these guys all but guaranteed they're going to beat us. I mean, he's going to use it. You pick at anything before a game to motivate this team. Like, I love what McCarthy said for the Cowboys, but I love how Rivera responded for Washington. I feel like it's a win-win on both sides. I'm sure you've been on both sides of that in some capacity. Have you not?
Yeah. Now, this is the deal, Jenna. On the contrary, what you get from this, you're going to get the Washington football team's very best. Like, they're going to come after you now, and you know, they're going to feel, the Cowboys are going to feel pressure in more ways than one. Probably the things that they wasn't going to see, or blitzes or looks that they wasn't going to see, they're going to get them now. They're going to get the football team's best. And I think I've been a part of maybe 1 or 2 situations like this, maybe with Jim Moore, if I'm not mistaken. I liked it, but I knew it was bulletin board material. And then, you know, I look at my coaches like, what are you thinking? Like, I got to put this uniform on, not you. I got to go deal with the pressures and the blitzes and whatever's going to come. So, you know, while you do like it and you like coaches showing the confidence, you don't like what you're going to get from the players from the opposition, because they're going to come at you 100% now, all because of what your coach said. So they got to deal with it now. Back it up.
Listen, at times I'm a very simple man, Wildes. And whenever I look at things and I'm like, well, is that the only time this year this has happened?